Hey there YouTube, good evening. Right, I'm doing a review tonight on 3 kits that I have reviewed recently over the last couple of months. The Smok RPM. I'll go through the description of the RPM before I vape them all. The RPM is 3000 milliamp battery with a 2mm pod, micro USB charger, and the Smok RPM comes with 0.4 ohm coil, which is vaped best at 25 watts, or the 0.7 ohm, which is vaped between 40 and 80 watts, with a 2mm pod. So that's that kit. I've already done the review on that. The Drag X is an 18650 battery. It comes standard with the 2mm pod, but I've got the 4.5mm pod on top of here. And the coil which I'm using is the 0.15 ohms, which is best between 60 and 80 watts. Also, I've got the Joytech Exceed grip here, the plus with the sub-ohm coil in. This is the 0.4 ohm coil, vapes best between 20 and 32 watts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through them, have a vape, compare them all. Now, the Exceed grip only has a standard 2mm pod, same as the RPM, comes with a standard 2mm pod. The Drag X comes with a 2mm pod, but you can buy a 4.5. Right, I'm going to vape all these now, compare them all. All got the same liquid in, so I'm going to start with the Smok RPM. That's at 50 watts there on the Smok RPM. Now I'm going to vape the Drag X now at 50 watts. Same liquid, same wattage. It's a blooming beast, this. I think it's something to do with the PMP coils, which is with the device. The chunky and the flavour and the quality is fantastic. That's at 50 watts. Now next I'm going to vape the Joytech Exceed Grip Plus on the sub-ohm coil. Now the sub-ohm coil only goes up to 32 watts on this device. Chucks a good cloud out. That was at 26. Now it's at 32 on the Joytech Exceed Grip. Cracking little device. The cloud on that. 32 watts. Right, so I'll vape them all at 50 watts. Now the RPM goes up to 80 watts and the Drag X goes up to 80 watts. So in a minute I'm going to give them both a vape at 80 watts. I just want to have a quick talk through the Joytech Exceed grip. Now I love the Joytech Exceed grip. Great for mouth to lung users or sub-ohm, but the sub-ohm coil only goes up to 32 and the airflow is on the side here. So not in the coil, not at the top or anywhere. It's 18650 battery, it fits nice in the hand, it's a lovely looking kit. If you compare the size difference between that and the Drag X, it's really small. Same with the Smok RPM, it's smaller than the RPM. Great little kit that. Lovely vape. The RPM, I do like the RPM. The only thing is, with the pod on the top, you can't see how much liquid you've got in the tank. That's a downfall with this piece of kit, but it vapes well. It's got good airflow on both sides at the top there. The Drag X is a fantastic piece of kit. It's really good, comfortable in the hand. Love the fact that you've got a 4.5mm pod on the top, and you can also buy an extension, which is a connector where you can add a 510 tank onto it as well. So there's lots of options with the Drag X. Plus the Drag X comes with a Drag S, which is micro USB and not an 18650 battery. Right, there's not much more I can do with the Exceed grip now because I've really gone through the main points. It's an 118 650 battery, and it's got a 2mm pod, and the sub-ohm core goes up to 32 watts. So, fantastic piece of kit that. Recommend to have one of those. I'm gonna take the Smok up to 80 watts now and give it a vape and see how it does. Fantastic cloud. Doesn't lose any flavour at all at 80 watts. The Drag X now at 80 watts. That is a beast. Absolute beast. Same resistance in coil, and the Drag X performs a lot better cloud. Not much size difference between the two devices. You know, the Drag X is a little bit bigger, and that's only because I've got the 4.5mm pod on the top. If I stuck the 2mm pod on, it'd be around the same size. It's a lot lighter, the Smok RPM. The Drag X seems to be a lot heavier. So my evaluation on that is, if I was a mouth to lung user, I'd definitely go for the Exceed grip. There is an option on the Drag X for a mouth to lung, and you have to change the airflow. But out of the three, for a mouth to lung user, I'd definitely go with the Exceed grip. Out of the Smok RPM, I would go with the Drag X, mainly because the coil performance is a lot better on the Drag X than the Smok RPM, and there's only one size in the pod, which is, to me, is not great, and I can't see how much juice I'm putting into it. So if I want to put all them kits into my favourite, the Drag X would come first because I'm mainly sub-ohm. So to me, that's a 10 out of 10. The Drag X. My second would be the Exceed grip, because I think the taste quality and the build quality in the Exceed grip is a lot better than the Smok RPM. Plus the RPM, you can't see how much juice you put in, but in the Exceed grip, at least you can see how much liquid you've got in there. I mean, the RPM 80 watt is okay, but that's got to be number 3. So number 1 goes to the Drag X, number 2 goes to the Exceed grip, and number 3 goes to the RPM. Okay, so I've just give you a bit of a summary really over these 3 devices which I've reviewed over the last couple of months, and I just wanted to do some comparisons with them all. I mean, they're all pretty good little kits. The Drag X in my eyes is the best one. The Smok one's okay, but out of the 3, it's not better than the other 2 in my eyes. Right, so that's my review for this evening. If you want to, feel free to comment below on my video. Just, you know, if you've got any of these devices or you want to share your thoughts, feel free, and be great to hear from you. Okay, thanks for watching LPC Babes.